Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Russ Berkowitz, who's the senior partner of Berkowitz Hanna. How's it going, Russ?
I'm doing well, Shiv. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on. And Russ, I would love to just start this off by understanding a little bit more about you and your background and how you got into law and got into Berkowitz Hanna.
I don't think we have enough time in this 10 minutes to talk about how I got into law, but what I'll say is that I'm the founder and managing partner at Berkowitz Hanna. We are a law firm located in Shelton, Connecticut. We have 5 offices throughout Connecticut. Main office is, as I just mentioned, Shelton. We have an office in Stamford, Connecticut, one in New Haven, one in Danbury, one in Bridgeport, for those of your viewership that actually has heard of Connecticut. We specialize in catastrophic medical malpractice and personal injury cases. We have a long-standing reputation in Connecticut as obtaining some of the highest awards in the state. And we are very proud of what we accomplish. We help a lot of people. We serve as a voice for people that can't speak for themselves, those who have been injured catastrophically through either surgery, birth injury, brain injury, all different kinds of malpractice, and also, obviously, from the personal injury side, also people that have been catastrophically injured in a car accident or a construction accident. So we have a pretty wide practice range. We also have represented over 200 NFL football players in the NFL brain concussion lawsuit that was actually started in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And we are really proud of the work that we've done for the players who have had serious brain injuries, and a number of them have been compensated for what happened to them.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know you guys worked on that. That's amazing. I know that was a really big case back in the day, especially if you follow along with football. Wow.
They're still going on. The
Mm.
program was set up where there was an unlimited fund that was created, and if you retired but before a certain date, you were eligible if you registered for the program. It's a difficult program to recover. The standards were high for these players to recover, and it was based on their age and number of years that they played and
Mm.
severity of a brain injury. But we've done pretty well for the players over the years, and the program continues, and it's helped some of the players dramatically.
That's amazing. Wow. So what drew your focus for your practice to do medical malpractice and personal injury up in Connecticut?
Well, my specific practice, and we have 16 people in the office, but I specialize in birth injury cases, children that have been born with a birth injury, mainly due to lack of oxygen during their labor period.
Mhm.
And it was not picked up during the labor by the medical providers, and the child wasn't delivered in a timely fashion. And they ended up with profound brain injuries, cerebral palsy, among just a couple of them. And those are extremely sad cases because it's supposed to be the happiest day of your life as a parent when you have a child. And when you're born with a child with a profound brain injury, especially when there's been malpractice involved, it becomes a lifelong endeavor to take care of the child. And the cost of raising a child with a birth injury is astronomical. And we do our best to get the family compensated. We also serve as their psychologist, their counselor, their friend. There's just a lot going on when something like that happens. And that's the field that my expertise has progressed over the years. And that's why I spend most of my time on at this point.
Wow. And so that's interesting. When someone reaches out after something like a misdiagnosis or birth injury, how do you help them understand what counts as medical malpractice?
A lot of them are fairly sophisticated at this point, to the extent that by the time they've come to me, they've done their homework on the internet. There's plenty of medical resources that they can see.
Mhm.
And what we try to explain to them is that birth injury cases are probably the most complex medical malpractice cases. There are a number of different subspecialties that get involved with a child when they have special needs. And we have to hire a number of different experts after we obtain all the medical records, fetal monitor tracings, placenta pathology, imaging, lab studies. There's a lot that goes into it, and we throw it in the lap of a number of different specialists, and they tell us whether or not, one, was there what we call a departure from the standard of care by one or more of the practitioners, and two, did their mistakes cause the birth injury? And so I usually tell the families that it's going to take a little while for us to do this investigation. We want to make sure we get it right, because we don't want to put you through something that goes awry because you're already going through hell and with your child. And so it's a bit of a process, and we make sure that we do our due diligence to give them a fighting chance that there is going to be a case.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really interesting because you have to balance, it sounds like you have to balance like compassion with legal rigor. That there's just this kind of a requirement that's going to be needed of legal rigor, but you also have to approach it with so much compassion.
Well, we get contacted between 25 and 35 people a week about malpractice cases.
Wow.
And most of them don't amount to a case for a number of different reasons. But what we share with the families is that it's as sad as these cases are. Every case that comes in here is sad. And we have, at the same time, we have to wear two hats. One, a human being hat, that we feel for everyone that comes in here. But two, we have to act like a professional. We have to make that decision after getting all the records and have the experts look at it about whether or not there is a case. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of emotion spent on the case. And we have to do our best to get it right. And so their cases are very tricky. And at the same time, and I tell the younger lawyers in the office this all the time, you need to take a step back, because when the cases come in, and we get so many cases with so many bad injuries, but they aren't truly malpractice cases, a lot of them. And so we have to put the emotion aside and be a professional and make sure that if there is a case, that then we can do the fighting for them. But it's hard to do fighting for someone where the case isn't really a case. And so you have to, it takes experience for that. When I was a younger lawyer, I was, not that I'm not sympathetic now, but I was so sympathetic back in the day when I was a younger lawyer. And I felt like, looking back now, I overlooked the professional aspect of it a lot. Not that it made a difference in the outcome, whether we took the case or not, but I took it so hard that I couldn't make every case into a case, until I realized if every case was a case, nobody would ever want to go to a doctor again. It's a balance, as you said. Balance is, you have to balance your empathy about versus being a professional with the case, because sometimes during the case, things come up that we didn't anticipate, which creates a flaw in the case. And you have to be honest with the client along the way that, hey, something came up during the case. We're going to try to get around it, but I just want you to know it's out there. And that way the clients have this shared conversation that takes place, to the extent that they can make an intelligent decision when the time comes to choose between settling the case and trying the case. They are now educated as to what the pros and the cons of the case are, and what could potentially happen.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. And I think a part of this also goes, you mentioned that people, a lot of times they come to you and they have some semblance of what a case is, because like today's client or consumer, just from a marketing end, is pretty educated. And I think that conversation steers towards what's happening lately. And I think that for you guys, and I think lawyers have been pretty impacted by AI. And I'd like to just ask you, how do you see AI impacting medical malpractice and personal injury law, both opportunities and challenges?
AI is a game changer. I think that most lawyers that do what we do, meaning personal injury and medical malpractice, have either already got involved with AI on a daily basis in their practice, or they're in the midst of learning about it and investing in it, because it speeds up the process. I can just speak for our office, where, at least on the personal injury side, one of my other partners who runs that division of the firm, things that used to take days to do take 20 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And obviously nothing's perfect. I think AI is in the early stages. I'm old enough when computers first came into existence, and they were slow and they didn't have as much information. And people were like, why are we using computers? It's not helping us. Fast forward, everybody uses a computer now. So I think that AI is that next step of what will take place or what's already started to take place. And it's a game changer. Not that AI will replace employees, but it will allow things to become done quicker, more efficient. They're not perfect by any means. Even the companies that try to sell the AI programs will say to you that you still have to have a person upload all the documents. You have to know what questions to ask AI in order to get some answers. You have to edit the product, meaning that if there's a draft of a complaint or a lawsuit that you're filing, it doesn't look like the complaint that we're ultimately going to bring in court, but it gives you that head start where if you had a paralegal drafting a complaint and it could take them 5 days, maybe 6 days to do, again, AI will generate a draft of that complaint in 15 minutes. So that's the beauty of AI. It's another tool that we can use to become more efficient, as long as people understand that, one, you have to do your due diligence, you have to make sure that you've made the changes to create a product that speaks of our voice, not of a computer's voice. And it's terrific. I'm a huge proponent of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's really interesting. We come at it from the marketing angle. So we see how much more educated people are before they reach out to somebody because AI we've seen is now overtaking or set to overtake Google in terms of search. So people are searching very specific long-term or like long tail keywords of, hey, this just happened to me. Who's the best lawyer in my area to help me take care of this? So people are coming with that prior knowledge and then they know, and it's all about, what you can even feed the AI to position yourself as the best law firm. So it gets really interesting on the front end too.
I'm sure. And it's, as I said, it's a game changer for us. I'm sure it's a game changer for other industries like yourself. I see nothing but improvements with AI as time goes on also. We're still in the infancy stage, and they can improve on the medical research that they put out there, legal research that they put out there, what we call mediation statements or demand letters, where you literally just upload the whole file and they will spit out what's a letter that's going to an insurance company or something that's going to arbitration or mediation. And it's just such a time saver. The product looks decent, but not perfect. Now I like it to go out of the office. And that's why people that are worried about, oh my God, I'm not gonna be needed anymore. And I've told the staff, of course you're gonna be needed.
Yeah.
Someone has to upload things.
Yeah.
Someone has to be able to use their mouse to find the different folders that, to click on.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to do the editing and make sure that it goes out in the format that we want. So I think that AI is a great assist. It's not the end all be all, except maybe I was talking with someone from one of the AI companies today, maybe a solo practitioner that doesn't do a lot of this kind of work and a jack of all trades. They want to file a lawsuit for personal injury, a car accident. They can use AI as a way to generate a complaint that they wouldn't themselves know how to do because they weren't that experienced with it. And they can put a product out there, not the best product, it's adequate.
Yeah.
And I think that helps them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a really good.
And only get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Russ, this has been so great. Where can people learn more about you? Where can people learn more about the firm?
They can Google my name. They can Google our website, berkowitzlawfirm.com. We have a beautiful website and we have social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can find me pretty easily on the internet.
Awesome. Very cool. Great. Thank you. I'll have all the links for everything below as well so people can easily access you and your firm. And thank you again for being on. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me, Shiv. Take care.